can go online at for YouTube. I mean, it's okay if you want to listen on the radio or live or whatever, but I'm just telling you that if you go to Douglas Canton on YouTube, okay, and you will see the live that of what we're doing here, and everything we're talking about, we're gonna have diagrams there so you could see firsthand what Mr. Phillips is talking about. Okay? Now, just so you know, in the future it's going to be set up so that it goes not only to my YouTube channel, but it also goes to the WSTX Facebook feed also. Just not that way today. And either which way, we're making progress. Only at WSTX, because you know, it's one thing when people talk and say this going on and that, but this man got pictures here, what going on, the equipment they're using, all kind of thing, so you can see firsthand. Okay? So if you're there now, you will see a presentation, first page for VI Waste Management, and that's what you're going to see while you're hearing our voice. And that's the way we're going to keep it, because we want you to be, you know, think about us. I know we look good, right? We look good, but think about us, okay? So, with that, and no further ado, I want you to pay attention to what he's talking about, because once these pipes go in, it means that our roads are that much closer to being where they need to be as far as repairs is concerned. And it also means that digging up is one less thing that's necessary for digging up for. So we want them, when they're done right, and nobody come to tear them up for another 50 years. All right, Ron.
Okay. Like I mentioned, the project is the Christian Said sewer line replacement and manhole rehabilitation. The project started on May 15th, and the starting location, if you look at the diagram on page 1, the starting location is Queen and Church Street intersection. And going west towards Queen and Queen Cross Street. Okay.
Right. You got people like me. You could name street all there. Me no. Okay. The road. If you say the road from Captain Weeks, a little hill by Captain Weeks, go all the way down. I mean, do both.
Okay.
Right?
I gonna try my best.
Well, I can help you there.
Okay.
Folks,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I helping him out here. Okay, folks. He gonna describe some places, but I tell you wait there. Okay, if those of you know Captain Weeks, been. Alright, that little hill there, go up the hill all the way past the back of the market, go all the way down, and just as you reach Catholic Church, you make the right. If you drive that path now, you will see where they've been digging up and walking. You take over. Right?
Okay, well, like Doug said, where Captain Weeks is located is that is actually starts on Queen Street. You go up the hill. The first intersection that you're gonna meet is Church Street, which is a one-way. And then from Church Street, we go all the way up to Queen Cross Street. That is the street before you meet the market. And that's where the project started. And each of the manholes them a designated number. It starts from manhole number 18, and from manhole number 18 to number 17, and also to number 16. So that's the first section that we started. And in terms of different equipment, what you seen in front of us. And Doug, I'll let you go ahead and interact and tell them the equipment that are figure 1 and 2, the equipment at site.
Well, I make it larger for them to see here, so they can see everything and read it and everything else. But folks, you see they got the roller there to flatten down everything after they done dig it up and fill it back in, and you see them at work there smoothing over the gravel into the ground, so that when time comes for paving, and it's not going to pave and then sink in. All right, they're packing it in right. Okay, and this is fantastic, because we have a challenge from both sides. We know we have to do the water pipes and dig up and put in the new water pipes in Christian State. We know that they're not true in the whole island. They got places that need to change. Just the same thing with these sewer pipes that have been there for ages. And Ron, I'd just like to segue into, why are we changing these pipes? What kind of pipes they had before?
Okay. Yeah, they actually on this particular street, the pipe was 6-inch concrete.
Concrete.
And the thing with a concrete pipe is that in sewer system you have sewer gas because there's bacteria inside the water, and the bacteria in the process of eating organics it produces gas, and the gas is hydrogen sulfide, and that gas attacks all material. And with the concrete, after a while, it attacks the concrete pipe to the point the concrete pipe become very porous, and after a while, it develop a hole, and once it develop a hole, dirt gets into the line, and the next thing you know, you end up having a line that's clogged. Clogged, and then once that line is clogged, the homes and the business are tied to the main sewer line eventually can't flush the bathrooms because the water cannot flow.
All right. So,
Yeah.
so folks, understand. I know you don't like the digging up and this and that and the other, but hey, I think you prefer the digging up than the problem that would come if they don't do the digging.
So when you go, if you go to page two, which
yes.
is we're talking about the equipment and site, you see picture number 3, you have the mini excavator,
Yep.
and that is the actual machine that's actually doing the excavation, that's digging up the dirt. And what you're seeing in that picture is the concrete pipe, the concrete pipes that are there before they pick them up. In picture number 5, once you're gonna put in the new pipes, there's something that you want to establish, which is known as a slope, because you want the pipe to have an angle so that the water can flow. And to do that, you use equipment known as a transit. And if you look at page number 6, picture number 6, even though we're showing the backhoe, but that is part of the transit. So once you set a slope, it will tell you exactly how you have to set the pipe so that the water can flow naturally by gravity. And then the material on site that we use, like for instance, the lines that we're going to be using are PVC, and they are SDR 35, and these PVC pipes are designed for sewer system. And what you're seeing on figure number 7 is what we call a Y, meaning that is where you're going to make a connection to a building, a residential home, coming into the main sewer line. As a matter of fact, you're going to see in an additional picture how that connection is done. Unfortunate for this project here is the material, the dirt that we're taking out, we can't use it again. The dirt that we're taking out of when we do the excavation for the road, we can't take it again. So what we're doing is we're using some material that's called tailing, which is the residue from the crushing process. But this particular tailing has more gravel than the actual fine material. So what is happening right now is that when you go up the same street we're talking about, you live from Capital Weeks and going up on Queen Street, and you're passing Church Street, and before you get to Queen Cross Street, the gravel start to loose up. So what happened right now, as the cars are going up, they're starting to skid and everything like that. So what it means now is that we're gonna have to start repaving earlier than later. Okay? Because I mean that's a concern a lot of residents have right now, that the gravel just loose all over the place.
Right.
And that is something that we discussed with the contractor up to yesterday. Several individuals approached me and they said, "Oh gosh, this is making Christiansted look like these roads are dirt roads." And I said I would convey that to Mr. Marco, which is Sean Batiste, and he was there, right? And Sean told him, "Well, I want my own paving company too." And but like Sean said, that he has to go to a certain distance because his paving plant that he has, his asphalt plant, the minimum amount of asphalt that he could make on a daily basis is 20 ton. And the thing with asphalt is that when you make it, you got to use it. If you don't use it, it gets hard and you can't use it again. So he has to actually determine how much asphalt he could put down in Christiansted. But that is something that hopefully we're going to be doing pretty soon. As you turn to page number 3 is showing some of the materials that are used on site. Like for instance, when you want to join pipes, they use what is known as a Fernco rubber coupling. There are 2 sizes. One is 4-inch and one is 8-inch. And then for the connections to buildings and home, we're using PVC schedule 40, which is picture number 12. And when you're going into a manhole, you actually have to cut out the manhole to run a new pipe. And to do that, to seal the manhole again, we use hydraulic cement, which is picture number 13. And the pipes that you seen in picture number 11, which is on the side of the road, that is the new pipe that we putting in. And
That's the second. That's the second set.
That's on page 3.
On the same first one.
Yeah, it's actually, if you look at page, picture number 11, you see the PVC pipe, which is in blue, is on the side. It's the side of the.
Okay, let me get straight here.
Okay.
Because I think I may have gone too
far.
fast.
Okay.
So, okay, yeah, I got you now.
Okay.
Okay.
So the PVC pipe is what we call, it actually has a bell and a socket. So when you join them together, they actually lock into place. But to do that, you actually have to have a pipe joint lubricant for it to occur. Otherwise, without that lubricant, that pipe is not going to go in. It's not going to fit in the socket. So that's what you see in picture number 14, which is a pipe lubricant. We're going to go to page number 4.
Okay.
And page number 4 is actually if you look at picture 15, it's on this particular day they install 100. Doug, as a matter of fact, for work performed, just read that and tell the public.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. 176 linear feet of 8-inch PVC pipe was installed there. Let me see. MH18 mean manhole 18 to manhole 17, which is what we were showing you earlier on, where the
page
manholes
1.
are on page 1. Okay, and just let me go back to page 1 just for your benefit, folks. You will see the red line. You'll see the red line there, the red shape there that we have there. That's showing you MH18 in a little white box, and MH17 showing you from point to point, manhole to manhole, what he's talking about.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me now go back to where we were here.
Page number 4.
Right.
Okay, so what you're seeing right now on picture number 18 is that you're seeing the actual new PVC pipe that's in what we refer to as a trench, the excavated trench.
Okay.
And if you look at the same picture on your left hand side, you're gonna see the concrete pipe that we took out, which is actually saying 6-inch concrete pipe, which is circled in red.
Right.
That's the condition of the pipeline that was removed.
Okay.
Okay. Like I mentioned, that you have to be able to connect either the residential homes or building to the main sewer line. So what you see now in picture number 16 and number 17, those are what we refer to as the laterals. The laterals are the connection that allows the wastewater or the sewage to come from buildings and residential home into the main sewer line. And those are the connections. When we turn to page number 5, you're actually gonna see.
That's on the second document.
That's on the second document, page number 5, and picture 18.
Give me a second to queue up that document.
Sure. No, not the second document. It's the same document. It's on page 5.
Okay, page 5. Yes.
Page 5.
We're on page 5.
Yeah, page 5.
Okay.
So when you look at picture number 18, you're seeing the laterals 1 and 2. So those are the installation that's coming from the building that's located between the 2 manholes that we discussed, which is between manholes 18 and 17. So what you're seeing right now, those are actually what we refer to as, some of them are Y connections, some of them are T connection, and that allows the new sewer line that we're putting in, which is the main sewer line, but at the same time you have to connect the buildings or the residential properties or the commercial building into the new sewer line. What I'd like you to do, can you read the observation, and so that the public will get an idea of the condition of the pipe?
Right. Okay. Well, folks, right now on your screen, you see in the lower right-hand corner there, it says observation. The existing sewer pipe that was removed was 6-inch concrete. The conditions of the pipe, as you could see right there in front of you, it's bad. Like it was just an accident waiting to happen. So it's great. You see the picture at the bottom there. You see the evidence of the hole. Just so you said, the gas over time. And the hole is there. Dirt going in to clog it up. And so this is very timely. What's going on?
And what normally happens is that once you get a hole, something what happens is that dirt gets in and the water keep moving the dirt, and then sometimes the clog is actually further from the hole, and eventually all the water start coming up through the ground, and then you end up with what we call a sinkhole. And that has happened. As a matter of fact, if anyone in the last 2 months, if you actually drove down on what they call Golden Rock Road after you pass the district court, the same road that will take you down to where Breezes is, where we call Breezes. We had a sinkhole that actually occurred there. One of the residential, the owners for lot 150, which is right across from that intersection after you pass I think it's the Nazarene Church. One Saturday she came out and she saw a little hole. And then within a half an hour, it started getting bigger, and then she hear plop, plop, plop. So she wanted to know what's going on. So cars were actually going into the sinkhole, and eventually, within an hour, the sinkhole just got bigger, and the same concrete pipe. And what was happening is the water could not flow anymore, and it just started going up the ground. And the thing with the water is that once it starts coming up to the pipe, for some reason, it don't go down in the ground. It always works its way up to the top, and then as it works its way, it keeps moving the dirt, and then you create a void, and then you create a sinkhole. So that is actually the work that was done on May 15 when we started the project. So what we're gonna do, Doug, is that we're gonna go to give them an update of what happened when we at with the project as of last week, Friday, which was June 16th. So you could go to that document.
All right, let me bring up that other document so we can get set on that. Yeah, well, this is great, you know, and what you're doing here is what I call proof of process, okay? Proof of process. Not just the work itself, but the communication that keeps a link between the work and the people. Because, you know, sometimes people have something that bothers them, but they could put up with it because they understand what is going on. And this is crucial in that context to make sure that they understand so that they can be in it with you, okay? So, so let's go now with that. So we got you next to your document, so let's talk about it.
Okay, so this is, like I said, it's June 16, which is last week Friday. This is where we at with the project as of last week Friday. The first thing is that the project is 13% complete, 13.7% complete. I forget to mention earlier, all the roads in Christiansted that we said you're going to replace the sewer line, the public has to understand is that we're going to be replacing and installing 33,000 linear feet of pipe. So what you're going to see is just a lot of pipe going into the ground. So and that means a lot of digging up. I know as time goes along, we're going to try the patience of the public. There's certain roads going to be blocked off. Like for instance, if you come into town, that intersection of King Street and Prince Street, where we have the guys in the hangout right on that corner. I call it Chuck Knight and his crew. Right now that road is blocked off. That road goes up from King Street, the intersection of King and Prince Street, and it goes all the way down to Strand Street. So right now that's what we're currently working on right now, and it's blacked out. There you go. So let's go back to
before you move on.
Sure.
Just a little bit of humor here. Okay?
Yeah.
You're talking all these technical things, right? And I'm saying it's like 13.7% complete, and I'm saying no, 14%. You know, because I know if there's somebody on St. Croix that could walk the length and say, you know, this is 13.8, no, argue it's 13.6. But I appreciate your accuracy, but I'm just showing that in. No.
Okay, so in this case here now, as of last week Friday, we're working from manhole number 5, which is on Queen Street, and this is right close to the Times Square Street, which is we call Market Street. Everybody knows Times Square. So this manhole is located close to Times Square, and we're going all the way up until we get to the cemetery. People understand that the cemetery kind of like got 2 entrances. They have one on Company Street. After you pass Times Square, you go straight up. But then there's also Queen Street, and Queen Street takes you up to the cemetery, and then it turns around the corner and it comes into Hill Street. So in this case here, we're working from manhole number 5 all the way to manhole number 3. And we're gonna go to the materials and equipment. It's the same equipment, but the only thing is some equipment, additional equipment, has been added. So what I'd like you to do is to go to page number 2, and we're gonna talk about the work performed, and have you read that for your audience.
Okay. Yes, folks, on your left-hand side there, you'll see, and follow with me here, 206 linear feet, 8-inch PVC was installed from manhole number 4 to manhole number 3, and that's shown there in the figures there for you to see visually, okay? And as of June 16, 2023, 2,330 linear feet of 8-inch PVC pipe had been installed. All right. Wow, that's a whole lot of pipe being laid.
And we got a long way to go still.
Long ways to go.
Yeah.
Long ways to go.
Yeah, well, when you look at picture number 1, it shows you the 8-inch PVC pipe that was installed in manhole number 3, and manhole number 3 is what we circle in red. And then at the same time, we show you the manhole number 3 after we went ahead and backfilled the trench. The pipe is installed, the road, the trench has been backfilled and compacted, and this is what you see in picture number 2.
Okay. Okay, I need to catch up with you here also.
Okay, now go to the one that said May 16.
Right.
I mean June 16. Yeah.
Okay. And I need to make sure, because we started with this.
Yeah, we started with yeah, and right now we're on page number 2, and that's what you just read.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so the picture, yeah, so the pictures are actually showing the line installed, the 8-inch PVC pipe installed into manhole number 3, and it shows you that when that is finished, it shows you the trench that's being backfilled and compacted.
Okay.
So what picture 2 is showing you what the finished product looks like. Okay. And then what picture number 3 is showing you is this is actually coming from Market Street all the way up to the point where you're getting close to the cemetery when they did all that section. That give you a good view. Outline.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
we're gonna go to page number 3.
Okay, we're there.
Okay, so I want you to read the item on page number 3.
All right, 6 laterals were installed, total of 76 linear feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you explain laterals meaning these pipes here that branch off.
Yeah, those are what we call the service lines that's coming from buildings or residential homes that come into the main sewer system. That's how the wastewater that come from the homes and the commercial building get into the sewer system.
Right. So the word lateral, what would that mean to the guy on the street?
The guy in the street, that won't mean nothing to the guy in the street.
Okay.
But the thing about it, if you tell the house connection, that means something.
But that's exactly where I want to go.
Yeah,
Right.
the house connection.
Exactly. You hit it right on the head.
Hit on the head. So what happened is that if you look at picture number 4, each of the laterals them are given a name. The table show you the lateral number. It show you the location of where they're at, and it tells you from the main sewer line back to where we're making the actual carrying and lateral. It tell you how many feet it is. And then one of the things that we've done is that we put what is known as a GPS coordinate. If I could go out with my phone and I have a GPS locator based on these coordinates, I could tell you exactly where the lateral is at right now. Before in the past we never had that. But now with this project, when we finish this project, we could know where all the connections are located.
All right.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So if you look at picture number 5, it shows you when the lateral is installed and the trench is backfilled. This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to see. But ultimately, once the road is paved, then to a certain extent, you don't know where the lateral is at. You're going to know where this main sewer line is at because it goes from manhole to manhole, but the lateral does not. Okay. And then the last item that we're going to be looking at is page number 4.
Okay.
And page number 4, one of the things that we have to do on a daily basis to make sure that the site is secure. And one of the things that we do is site is secure. We put barricades and we put caution tape. The caution tape is to let the public know that there's an open trench. Not every day we could close the trenches, because sometimes what happens is that we put in a certain amount of pipe for a given day, and then you continue excavating. But the site have to be done in such a way that the public would know that there's a caution tape there. So if you're inquisitive and you want to go and look at the trench, you could go all the way up to the caution tape. But without the caution tape, you don't want anyone to go beyond that, because they could fall into these trenches. Some of the trenches are deep. Some of it is like 5 feet deep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Safety first.
Safety first, and then at the same time, and then whenever a road is closed, they would let you know which road is closed. So there's adequate signs.
And let me talk to my
Sure.
people for a second. Hey, folks, I know you want to get somewhere, and it might look like you could squeeze through.
No, please,
But
please
don't do it, because if you have a collapse and you can't go down in there, you're going to be embarrassed.
The good thing with Queen Street is that Queen Street, when you go from Market, when you start from Market Street and you're going out walk to the cemetery, for some reason they went ahead and run the sewer line on the side of the street. So right now on Queen Street, you could continue driving. Queen Street is if you look at page number 4, page 9. Yeah, okay. That's you could drive there because the manhole is not in the middle of the road. I mean, the sewer line is not in the middle of the road, even though that's the preferred way. If you're going to design a sewer system, you like to have it in the middle of the road, because on either side of the road you have your service connection. But in this case here, for some reason they decided to run it on the side of the road, so you have enough room. At the end of the day, you could continue driving on Queen Street as if you're going up towards the cemetery. Because after you leave Market Street, remember you got people living on both sides of the street. So what's happening is that the individuals that actually on either side of the street, they could get to their homes. But if those that are gonna park, they'll have to park on the opposite side. Because sometimes some people that park on Queen Street, sometimes they park on either side. But when we're doing this work, everyone is gonna park on one side of the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, since it's live and recording.
Sure.
We're gonna take this and make sure that you guys get a copy of it, so that you can share it with the public in addition.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
Review this presentation, so
Sure.
if there's any way we can improve on this to better, get the word out to the community. Definitely.
Like one of the things that I was saying is seeing is believing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's good for the public to get a chance to see what's taking place, what's the condition of the pipes. But at the same time, when you're doing the work, there's a purpose for digging up the road, and the purpose is to replace this sewer line that's past their lifespan. And at the same time, it's very inconvenient, but at the end of the day, the people of Christiansted that lives in Christiansted and the business in Christiansted, they're gonna really appreciate the work that's being done right now. The project is funded by the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and this is something that they always advocate. They want to make sure that you collect the wastewater, you collect it, you transport it, and you treat it. That's the whole idea. And they don't want the water coming out on the road. They don't want the water going into the ground.
Well, not only that, it's another way of using the word pollution. Because when these pipes start to break up and go,
Mhm.
yeah, sometimes they're getting unclogged, but other times the stuff is coming out.
That's true.
Going into the community.
That's true. It does.
It's a
It
form
does.
of pollution.
It is. And one of the things that I was saying is that dilution is not the solution to pollution.
No, dilution will just spread it wider.
It's not. It's not. So part of this project, because there's so much stakeholders is involved, and one of the things that is done on a daily basis is a daily report is being produced. This is what we're looking at today, being produced in terms of giving a status as to where the project is at and what progress is being done. And one of the things that we're asking for the patience of the modern public and the people that live in Christiansted, because It's not fun digging up the roads. It's not fun at all.
Well, it's not fun for anybody because when Ran, let them know you don't drive the road too.
I don't drive the road.
That's
too.
right.
I
Okay.
don't drive
And
it.
I said that it'll be up in Christianstead. So it ain't like he coming and mashing up our road and going to live in the community with everything nice.
As a matter of fact, there are 5 roads that Public Works wants to pave, and we beg them, please don't pave them until we place the sewer line. And if anyone ever been on Hill Street, especially when you go from Hill to Market and Hill, when you pass St. Mary Convent, and then you go in that section right before you get to Queen Cross Street. Dog, that road is bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, especially at the intersection of Queen Cross Street and Hill. Oh my gosh, I mean it's real bad.
It's real bad. You know, right there, you know where King Cross Street is. Well, let me explain to you this way. If you trying to get to the Market Square, let's say, and you come up from Lieutenant Governor's office, you know you ain't got no choice but to go up another block and swing around to come back around.
Yeah.
Well, if you go up another block, as you make the left-hand turn, they got crater out of this wall. I mean, I have to say that the folks there are very patient because it's been like that for years. They're very, very patient. And if it's anything that Public Works could do to just ameliorate that hole in the meantime, because you're doing a lot of work, it's going to take time to reach around to that area. If they could do something to ameliorate that in a you know, for a minute, because it's such a commonly used thoroughfare to come around there. The other thing that
you talking the street after you actually pass in the Vitima building, right on the corner.
Yeah, right on the corner there.
Then you go up, the church is actually on your right hand side.
Your right hand side,
and then you make a left hand turn because you want to come around.
Come
again.
around to the market.
Yeah, right on that corner there.
Right there.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yes, that's bad.
Yeah. Especially if you're driving there at night, you gotta be careful.
Yes. You know, I'm hoping at some point in time to walk that area with somebody from Public Works. Can you know the bridge at the bottom?
Yeah, I know the bridge. Yeah.
The bridge, when it was designed originally, it have some holes at the side so water would run off. But then in the new world, we come with pavement and we pave it in. And what we've done is we fill in the bridge so it now becomes like a trough for water. And you know, the water seeps into the pavement. And so now you have potholes because it's going to give.
Yeah, yeah.
And somehow or the other, when they do it over next time, they need to set it so that, you know, if you take let's say a steel pipe, I use that for example, well, any kind of pipe, and you cut it in half, and you put it to the side with holes, so that in essence, the water from the road would have a way out one way or the other, either from on top or on the sides in, you know, to get through those holes. That bridge would last a whole lot longer without those potholes. But it's that kind of thing that Public Works, Waste Management, you guys got so much on your plate. Okay, I understand that. So I'm saying someday, hopefully, I could do a little 5-minute walk with somebody and show them this and say, you know, if we could put in this drainage and these places, next time you do this, you won't have to come back for 10, 15 years because they only mashing up because they're holding the water.
There's one thing I'd like to also mention, that the reason why we started the work on Queen Street is because WAPA Electrical is going to come and put Queen Street electricity underground. So Queen Street is going to be dig up again. Once we finish with Queen Street, WAPA is coming to do that. Okay. And the reason why we decided that we wanted to go first is because WAPA underground electrical lines, they encase in well, the conduit where the wires are running is encased in concrete, and the concrete is normally like 2 feet in depth, 2 feet thick, because it has to be protected. So what happened now is that, and that's for the entire length of the pipe. So when you got to actually run your service connection, most of the time you got to actually go through the concrete, and that's a time-consuming process, and that is what we're facing right now at that intersection of King on Prince Street, right there and there.
They concrete the whole thing.
They concrete the whole thing, and guess what? And that is all the underground power that's coming into Christianstead.
To Christianstead.
So if we went when we did the work, it took us about a week to do. I mean, and we couldn't, after a while, we couldn't use the backhoe, what we call the hydraulic attachment.
Right.
Everything had to be done by hand,
By
a handheld jackhammer.
Okay.
And then WAPA was telling us that we gotta be careful because most of the time they do not allow anyone to do that type of work. They want to shut down the power because it's carrying like 1,300,
Yeah, 13,000 volts. Yeah, yeah.
And they're saying that
And that stuff can come true.
if you compromise that conduit and you get to the wire, to the cable, that's it. Somebody could be fried.
That's it.
So most of the time, what WAPA does is that they like the power to be shut down. We explain to WAPA that work is going to be like from 7:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It could run at 5, it could run at 6. That's a long time
Time
to
to
have
be-
Christians there without power. Without power.
Let me ask you a question. Is there a standard protocol how waste management and public works and WAPA and VIA, is there a protocol that you guys get together and discuss these projects so that we know what's possible?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we had what we refer to as a project kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
And typically we get all of the entities that have underground utilities involved. As a matter of fact, the same area I was talking about, which is King and Prince Street, that intersection there, from Prince Street, from King Street going over to Strand Street,
Mhm.
on Prince Street, VIA has underground fiber optic that was installed many years ago. I think they were installed before himself, Hurricane Marilyn. They were not installed based on the new codes that we have today. The new codes are saying that the fiber optic have to be encased in concrete. Theirs is not encased in concrete. Theirs are just encased in sand. So what happened when we started doing the work, we had to contact VIA and say, hey, can you mark the road to tell us exactly where your cables are? Because with BIGN, they own is in concrete. So once it's in concrete, we don't have any problem because once we start excavating, we're gonna touch the concrete and the concrete gonna tell us that there's underground communication. But in the case of VIA, this was like in Vitelco days. They didn't do that, so they had to come out and mark it. So when we're doing the work in that area, we know exactly where they're at, and we just have to be extremely careful when we're doing the digging.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good because in the process also, I'm sure that they're looking forward to say, well, if you guys doing this now, then we need to do this now. Because once the concrete gets in there for WAPA, for instance, as you run into that issue there,
Yeah, man, it takes up a lot of time.
So it definitely means that if you can run some conduit and cap it off at both ends, so later on when you need to,
well, actually, if you actually travel on Company and Prince Street, right by the St. Joseph Catholic Church, right that area, BIGN has their underground dug bank. They have a lot of spare dug banks right now. Unfortunately, when we were doing the work in that area, we actually went ahead and damaged a lot of it. So right now that area is blacked out. Those conduits are going to have to be repaired.
Redone.
They have to be redone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the important thing is that the vision is there. One of the things you hear, no vision and perishing, and the vision is there that we need to move in these ways so we don't keep reinventing the wheel every time, dig up, tear up, wherever we can avoid it.
It's kind of interesting because the Public Works went ahead and give the residents at Camporico a good Christmas gift last year. They went ahead and actually paved all the roads in Camporico. And they paved them. Anybody driving to Camporico know the roads are paved and they're striped, right? Guess what?
Gotta dig them up.
WAPA is coming in now to replace the water line in Camporico, right? So all the roads ain't on Camporico gonna be dig up, but not instead of that you replacing the main water line. But you have to do the service connection. So if you think that there's only one trench down in the middle of the road, it ain't gonna work that way because every home that has potable water, you got to tie into it. So when you look at it, it's like you ever look at a flamboyant tree,
yes,
and you look at the leaves, where the leaves them actually you have a straight leaf and then have branch out. That's what you go. So I know the resident of Campo Rico are not going to be too happy because they waited a long time. Someone told me they wait like close to 20 years before they get those roads paved. I mean, the roads are nightly paved. They striped it and everything like that, and here it is. WAPA is coming in.
I know what the campaign plan is going to be next time around. Fix that road back. Otherwise, yeah. Well, Ron, I enjoy having you here because I enjoy having this down to earth discussion about things that touch people's lives in a way that yes, there's going to be some inconvenience.
Yeah.
But you could see where we're going, and if you could see where we're going, you know you could keep the acid reflux down.
Wish you luck.
Robert, I do not control my scheduling, right? Mm-hmm. But I would like to be on your show today. I do not control it.
Well, you realize we live, right?
That's okay. No, that's good. That's good. The pressure there on him now.
You realize you're soliciting on Dougie's show, you know?
No, because y'all Coach Foy say y'all have an open door policy.
Always,
you know, so
always.
And I know that I did the kickoff.
Well, let me put it this way.
No problem.
If you carry over and let him do his presentation again, I will keep my hook up here because what you're seeing is on the internet, which means that people can see the diagrams if you come step this way. Okay? So like when I want to show what he's talking about, we show what he's talking about and the whole 9 yards. Okay?
All right. Like Dougie and all this crazy technology, we don't keep you for the just so Dougie could do this.
All right.
You see how he will show off?
He's showing off.
Look. You see how he is? Because he know more than me.
I don't pay me enough to stay. I don't push it. Okay, folks, only on WSTX, okay? Only on WSTX. And when you see the others doing, you know who they were following, right? Okay, WSTX, all right. Well, it's getting to that time. I want to remind my folks out there to do your random acts of kindness. If you're feeling bored, do some premeditated ones because love's in need of love every day more and more. So make sure you do your part, all right? So until next time with Reflections, hey, have a great day with Robert and Ron as they take care of this great community service.
Right, begging for mercy, a chance to be free. 200 years until one children won't hear. So we are marching for freedom, to die for this homeland. He that get no victory for me. I ain't gonna die like my father or his ancestors. I'll never see the promised land. I hear some news going around. Bodo and King and the slave them coming to town, ready to die, just to be free. So one should be better emancipate me.
AM 970 WSTX and more continuous music variety.
Let us dance, let us sing, let us celebrate 175 years of VI emancipation. Let us give praise to the Creator and honor our ancestors during Freedom Week, June 25th to July 3rd. St. Croix, St. John, St. Thomas. Celebrate the living legends of culture presentations sponsored by Force Bank. Experience Clear the Road art exhibit at Fort Frederick. Witness the unveiling of the Call of the Conch. Savor the rich history of the Virgin Islands at the Folk Life and Music Festival in Frederiksted. And engage in events. Freedom Week begins June 25th with worship services and culminates July 3rd with the official emancipation ceremony at Bodo Park. For more information, visit www.vi175.com.
The 175th Emancipation Commemoration Committee, remembering our past, celebrating our future.
At
Doctor's Choice Pharmacy, we know money is tight. Sometimes that means choosing between your medication or groceries. When you transfer your prescription to Doctor's Choice, we will give you $25 towards your groceries, so you won't have to choose. At Doctor's Choice Pharmacy, located inside the Market and Plaza Extra East, we can't wait to serve.
Dear Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
This I pray.
Living one day at a time, enjoying every moment. Accepting the hardships of peace. I know I'm not saying that I want it, but he who trusts in the Most High, by his steps I will always abide. Judge, I love it, surround me evermore. This my prayer every time I rise. Yeah, Lord, give me serenity to accept the things I can't change, and the courage to change the things I can. Yeah, and if in life on my journey I should stumble and fall, make me wiser than the man I already am. Thanks for another day. Thank you for the obstacles you're moving out the way. Thank you for the talent you give me, for opening up my mouth and express myself in a different way. Thank you for mama, thanks for dada. Thank you for the blessing where you throw up on my jaw. Jaja, your love, it's around me evermore. So every day my praise up for sure. Yeah, Lord, give me serenity to accept the things I can't change, and the courage to change the things I can. Yeah, and if in life on my journey I should stumble and fall, make me wiser than the man I already am. Yeah, living one day at a time, enjoying every moment. Accepting the hardships of peace. I know I'm not saying that I want it, yeah, but he who trusts in the Most High, by his side I will always abide. Judge, I love, it's around me evermore. This my prayer every time I rise. Yeah, Lord, give me serenity to accept the things I can't change, and the courage to change the things I can. Yeah, and if in life on my journey I should stumble and fall, make me wiser than the man I already am. Thanks for another day. Thanks for the obstacles you're moving out the way. Thank you for the talent you give me, so for open up my mouth and express myself in a different way. Thank you for mama, thanks for dada. Thank you for the blessing that you throw up on my jaw. Jaja, your love, it's around me evermore. So every day my praise up for sure. Yeah, Lord, give me serenity to accept that which I can't change, and the courage to change that which I can. Yeah, and in this life, on my journey, if I should stumble and fall, make me wiser than the man I already am. Yeah, Lord, give me serenity to accept that which I can't change, and the courage to change that which I can. On my journey, if I should stumble and fall, and make me wiser than the man I already am. Yeah, Lord, give me serenity to accept that which I can't change, and the courage to change that which I can. Yeah, in this life, on my journey, if I should stumble.
Sweet St. Croix. I love the sweet Caribbean ocean breeze. There is no place where I would rather be. The fish and turtles swimming around the pier. From where I stand, I can see so clear. For reggae to soca any Ibequois Bay, it makes me dance along the way. Oh, sweet St. Croix, oh, sweet St. Croix, your history is so rich. Fried fish is my favorite dish. Sugar mills to sugar cane. Oh, how I love the sweet smell of the rain. Oh, sweet St. Croix.
I knew God was with me. I always used to pray. My prayer was I asked God not to let the devil kill me out here while I was in the streets before I could get back. But I said, if you give me one more chance at life and music, I promise you, I'm going to shout you out and I'm going to testify and we're going to have a little church up in there.
Oh, 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 I'm blessed. Waking up, thanking God. Every day is feeling just like Sunday. Wifey fly by my side. Green light, everything is going my way. Riding clean, living dreams. Just left the barber and I'm feeling like Midas. Heard him say, give him praise. What's in the water got you acting like this? Ain't a day go by that I don't try to thank the Lord up above. And if you wonder why I'm loving life, I'm close and I tell you what's up. Ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed. Yes, living every moment, no regrets. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. Yes, ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed. Yes, living every moment, no regrets. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. Yes, playing cards, laughing hard, barbecuing, waking up the whole block. Music loud, turning out. Little kids are breaking out the bus stop. Life is good, really good. And every moment, no, I can't forget. I gotta say, I won't change. You're the reason that I am like this. Ain't a day go by that I don't try to thank the Lord up above. And if you wonder why I'm loving life, come close and I tell you what's up. Ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed. Yes, living every moment, no regrets. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. Yes, ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed. Yes, living every moment, no regrets. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed.
Let me holler at Uncle Charlie. Thank God for another day. Why they were hating on me, he done found another way. I know it's trouble all around, trying to tear us all down. But I gotta thank God every day above ground. Know the devil working day and night. But I look him in the eyes and you a damn lie. And I know I could've died at a 9-time. I'm still around because of his work, not because of mine. And I'm up on the doing time, got a message for you. Might be stressing now, but there's a blessing coming. And when it do through all the party and the nonsense, just take some time to thank God for what he done. When the partner you run with come with the negative comments trying to get you to do something, you better not follow them dummies, I swear. I declare so much power in prayer. You had no idea, God is always here. I'm blessed.
Yes, living every moment, no regrets. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Ask me how I'm doing, I'm blessed. Yes, living every moment, no regrets. Smile up on my face, I'm like, oh, yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. Yes, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, y'all. Oh, 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 I'm blessed.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views or opinions of WSTX, its owners, advertisers, employees, or management. Email us your comments at WSTX@VIRadio.com.
I knew God was with me. I always used to pray.
Covers the flip side of our cultural, political, economical, and social affairs. Now let's join our host, Robert B. Moorhead, because the session is in.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views or opinions of WSTX, its owners, advertisers, employees, or management. Email us your comments at WSTX@VIRadio.com.
It's time for In Session, the talk show that covers the flip side of our cultural, political, economical, and social affairs. Now let's join our host, Robert B. Moorhead, because the session is in.
Yes, 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 yes. And look, biggity, today is a beautiful day in paradise, except for what we're going to discuss right away. I can't drive downtown. I wanted to get some bacon and eggs, and I couldn't drive downtown. Why? And then again, we call it the choke block. Can't even go visit friends, talk with some horse racing, nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how it is, you know. They just treat us like red-headed stepchildren with buck teeth and freckles. You know, it's a rough life. Okay, folks, listen. What we're doing is we're just extending over a little bit. You know, Ron has got some beautiful information we want to share, so we are actually going to do the presentation again with him. So as those of you that were listening to Dougie's show, he had asked to stay over so we could do this. We did launch on our show to let you know and the public that yes, there are going to be some major inconvenience for the next 2 years. Not 2 months, 2 years. So all of Christian said gonna be humbug up for the next 2 years, so we fetting down in West. Anyhow, Ron, of course, welcome to In Session.
Thank you, Robert.
Always a pleasure to have you. Okay, we know that you just want to harass the rest of our life for 2 years, but at the end of the 2 years, we're going to have better sewage system, God willing, better electrical system, you know, and everything else.
Not that you mentioned that. Yesterday I spent some time with Chuck Knight and his guys, and that section of where they live, which is actually on King Street and Prince Street, they're actually underground, electrically underground. And they were saying that the next day after Hurricane Maria, quite a few of them had electricity.
Yeah.
So from the standpoint of actually, like you mentioned, putting more electrical underground is a benefit because your recovery is very, very, very much faster.
Well, please don't get me started because I gave Whopper money to put cables underground. Me asking nobody. Okay, there's a big difference. I ain't asking. I think it was $10 million to get them to bury from the plant all the way over to Prospect Key through town. Was the original plan, and they had multiple plans as well to bury our electricity so that we could recover quicker, which was the concept. That was what we were mitigating in the process. But like I said, don't get me started on that. I'm already gonna be cross-threaded when I get started with the official show. Please, where are we at today with the 16 point? How much it was? 16.6%.
No, 13.7.
13.7. Guys, there's the same guy with the donkey that'll be digging up the road. He does be out there now walking to see what percentage. I with Dougie, you know, I found it amazing that somebody actually knows that it was 13.7%. You know, it's 7.384%. You know, there's somebody out there with a little wheel walking around going, yep, okay, we've got 13.7% finish. You know, so yeah, I would Dougie on that one.
So much is the underground line you run so far, is what you're saying?
Yeah, for the project, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're 13%
yeah, the project, we actually going to be installing 33,000 linear feet of
yes.
pipe. The project started on May 15th.
No, wait. Because you're an engineer, I'm going to challenge you with this.
Sure.
33,000 linear feet for us, that little slope. How many football fields that would be?
Each football field is actually
100 yards.
It's 100 yards, but then each yard is 3 feet, right?
Right.
So what you got the first thing you got to do is you got to convert yards to feet, right? And then once you convert yards to feet,
you don't understand how they start. I use the engineer.
You got to simplify it.
Yeah, for those of us that hard-headed.
Okay.
And
Wait.
a calculator.
Okay, if you think about it, right?
Give or take. You don't have to be.
No. If everybody's familiar with a yardstick, a yardstick is 3 feet, right?
Now
So
33,000 of these.
So all you gotta do, you take 3 feet and divide it by 33,000. So that will tell you. Just imagine you got 33,000 yardstick. That's how much. That's what we're talking about.
So about 12 football field.
Probably maybe a little more. 15?
15?
Yeah, 15. Give or take.
About 15 football fields for those of you that hear that, just have to chew your oats. Dougie, why you shaking your head for? It's old school. So we're talking about 15 football fields worth of piping that we're going to be putting in.
Exactly.
Okay. So for those of you that give or take, that's a lot of Polly Joseph stadiums. Anyway, so where are we at right now with the project?
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to have the first presentation you have in front of you is on May 15th when we actually started the actual project itself.
Right.
And we started from Church and Queen Street. Church and Queen Street, and that's where the project started from. Church and Queen Street, and we went up to Church and Queen Street up to Queen Street and Queen Claw Street. So we went from manhole number 18 to manhole number 16.
So that's why the roads right now still so bad in Christian State, because I know by the barber shop we were closed for like almost a week.
Yeah, because we are doing the work in that area.
Okay, so you're trying to say, so like this work will be ongoing for the next 2 years, so the road won't be repaved for a while, is what you're saying.
Okay. What is happening right now is on the street where you have Salvador Barber Shop. Wapa, when we complete that road, Wapa is going to be coming back and digging it up again, because Wapa is going to put everyone on Queen Street, including Salvador Barber Shop, underground. So what's going to happen is that once Wapa finish that, the next hurricane or the major storm that comes, what's going to happen now is that the next day, Salvador Barber Shop is going to have electricity.
Okay, so now, not to cut you off from the rendering you have
Sure.
going on, but just for the customers and the client base who are disgruntled with the road, like what we should tell them, like how we should simplify the process to make it in their favor.
What
waste management fault?
I mean, we like to point a finger.
This time point the street.
Like for instance,
but then what right after?
Yeah, right after.
Yeah.
And like for instance, one of the things that Waste Management did, because I came to the barber shop and I had a discussion with y'all, and we told y'all that even though we dig up the road, your customers them could still come. The only thing is that your customers them normally will park up in the market. Or in the market. And one of the things that we don't want to take a chance is to have the trenches about 2 feet wide. We don't want to have anybody trying to jump over the trench, because like you said, don't call the name. They will have this attorney in Christianstead. There's a parking lot right behind the Salvador Barber Shop, and the attorney wanted to jump over the open trench that we dug, and she had on heels. And I said, "Ma'am, no, please, ma'am, don't do that." And she said, "But I got an appointment to go to." I said, "Come, let me guide you." And so that's what come in a case like that. They will.
So you don't have no like don't slip fall signs.
No. What we did is actually there was a certain section that she could have walked, but the attorney was saying that was a little too far, because the parking lot just happened to be. There's a little gate between Salvador and where you go walk through the parking lot.
Yeah.
But she wanted to take a shortcut. I said, miss, no, please, just take a little extra step. Just go around. And
shall leave the workman.
Yeah. But typically what we do, we notify the businesses that the only inconvenience that they're going to experience is really the parking for the customer. But customers can still come and do business. Okay. The whole intention is not to stop any type of commerce. It's only the parking gonna be an issue. Like for instance, right now, you have the Navy store that's located on King Cross Street and Prince. You could still go to the Navy store. The only thing is that if you used to park on the side of the Navy store, where they're doing the work today, you won't be able to do that.
But you can park up down in a little lot.
Exactly, you could go to where First Bank used to be. Yeah, you go down there, you could still walk over to the store. But some people have always seen it convenient that they go to the Navy store, they drive on the side, and adjust on the side, they pull on the side, and then they walk in. You're not going to be able to do that, but the Navy store is still going to be open for business. It's just a little inconvenience.
For 2 years.
I know.
So,
I know.
It's going to be a little inconvenience for 2 years. Bring a chair.
Good morning. Good morning. So essentially we started on May 15th, and we started from the intersection of Queen and Church Street. So we started from manhole 18, and then we went up to manhole 16. So what this is showing is the different type of equipment. The one that you want to look at is May 15th. May 15th. This, which is this one.
Okay.
Yeah, May 15th. Okay. And May 15th, essentially we just give an idea of the type of equipment that they're going to be using, which is for picture 1 and 2, you have the mini compactor roller. After you finish putting the sewer line, the dirt that we actually take out of the trenches, we can't use it again, so we have to put in fill material.
So why can't we use
the reason why we don't want to use it, because the Department of Public Works have noticed that when you put in back in that same material, and you come back and you do the asphalt, do what is called asphalt restoration, that material does not compact very well, and next thing you know, you start seeing that section start sinking, and the motorists them have always complained about it.
So we're going to use caliche as a fill?
No, we're not using caliche. We're using something what is known as tailing, which is the residue from the crushing process, and that's what
tailing.
They call it tailing, which is the residue from when you go to the crusher, and the crusher crushes the what they call the blue bitch stone, and what you do, they crush it to you could get different size rocks, and in the process you get what is known as residue, and that residue is good for backfilling and for compacting. And that's what Public Works recommend.
And it's better than caliche?
Better than caliche.
Okay, what's the name? Where did the ground test on that?
Which one?
The residue. That did come, who did the testing on that? In the Virgin Islands?
No, the Department of Public Works have done it over a period of time. They have.
I don't trust them. So
that's why
let me stick with caliche.
What caliche
we have plenty of.
Yeah, caliche normally they use it for when people are backfilling the foundation, the homes and so forth like that, and that has been good.
And they used it on the highway.
Actually, as a matter of fact, if you look at the Clifton Hill connector that they're doing right now, that entire base is caliche.
It is caliche.
Yeah,
but the coming up there by Williams Delight, that portion of the highway from Enfield Green all the way down to by Johnson them. That's all caliche. Me asking, I'm telling you.
So what's this backfilling? You said that's our grade?
Yeah,
it's a residue from the blue bitch.
From the blue bitch. What they do is that the crusher they take the blue bitch is a mountain, and they dynamite it, and they get different size stone.
You said blue ridge?
The blue bitch.
Bitch, B-I-D-G.
Yeah. Okay. And so what they do is that they actually crush it, and what they do, they get different size aggregates, because like for instance, like when you notice now in St. Croix, if you're gonna be putting up any kind of commercial area like where you've seen at Cassilis and you've seen it over the storage area in Princess, you have to have a retention pond for stormwater control. And if you look at a retention pond, you see the stones them are bigger sizes, and that is to help the erosion and so forth like that. You could take that same stone, you could crush it again, and you could get the consistency of what we call gravel, what people are accustomed to, and then at the same time you could crush the gravel further to the point where it comes down like sand, and that's where you actually put into asphalt. Okay. So but in the process of doing that, every time you do that, you start getting a residue, and this residue is what we call tailing. The problem is that the best tailing that we could get in St. Croix normally come from the crusher all the way down in Thames Bluff. That is closed. So right now the crusher they get is the one over in Grove, which is run by heavy concrete or whatever it is. But the problem is that one they're getting too much gravel in there, and that's the problem that you're facing right in front of Salvador Barber Shop and the road that's actually coming from Captain Weeks going towards Queen Cross Street, that hill going up there, is that because you're getting so much gravel in there, gravel do not really compact and stay in one place. It's stone, and eventually it start moving. So going up there is a problem because the cars then start skidding and everything like that. So the only so you could solve that problem, you have to eventually pave it right away.
So what in Kalichi?
Okay.
Well, that solves the problem for our Salvador customers. And a quick shout out to my brother Noel, because I know you're listening in. And just let everybody know that we're going to get that fixed in the next 2 years.
No. Not going to be quick. So when
2 years.
Okay. So we're going to go to page 2. And page 2 is actually showing you some of the equipment that's being used. Like, for instance, for figure number 3, it's showing you the mini excavator. This is actually showing you the trench that was dug. The line that you're seeing right now is concrete. It's concrete.
Wait, this one first picture, I guess number 3. That's
picture number 3. That's going up the same hill I was talking about.
Okay.
And the thing about it is that is where, when you actually backfill with this actual tailing that has a lot of gravel in it, eventually what is happening, the gravel becomes loose. So when the car going up this hill with the loose gravel, it starts to skid.
And this is the same place where WAPA going to bury their zone, right?
Yeah, the same place, exactly.
And they're going to go up down the street, across the park.
Yeah.
And then connect to Prosper Creek. That is what I paid for.
WAPA is coming after.
Like I said, me asking you.
Okay.
That is what I paid for.
So you are going to pave it back and then WAPA dig it up?
Well,
we
no.
should have already dug it up.
No,
years ago.
we gonna pave it. We have to pave it back because the problem is that you can't leave it like that. Then WAPA is gonna come after us and dig it up again. So
who paves it after WAPA does that?
After WAPA does that, Public Works come and pave the entire road.
Okay.
The entire
WAPA
road.
comes and digs up what you've done.
Exactly.
I am paying you to dig it up and put it back. That's what I'm doing. It's as a government something.
Okay, but
WAPA.
Let me explain something.
Ain't no government entity.
No,
so
no.
who is paying
for them to repave?
Repair it afterwards.
Let me put it this way: whenever you do this type of work, any type of road work that you're doing excavation, part of your what we call the scope of work, you have to do what's known as asphalt restoration.
Okay.
And the asphalt restoration is gonna be what you put in the contract with the contractor that's doing the work. So when waste management put in this sewer line, we have to restore the asphalt. When WAPA comes back down and WAPA actually put in their underground electrical, they got to do the same thing. So when that is finished, Public Works is going to come, they're going to mill the entire road and they're going to resurface the entire road. But they're not going to do that until waste management put in their underground sewer line, replace the sewer line, and then WAPA does the electrical. That's the reason why we started on Queen Street, because WAPA wants to do Queen Street.
I don't see why y'all can't do it simultaneously.
No, you can't, because Queen Street, you don't have enough room.
For what?
For all those equipment. No, because doing so you could do it together, I mean, you're going to use the same contractor, and most of the time that don't happen. It doesn't happen, and the thing about it is that the streets, I mean, Christian said, are not wide enough that you could really do the work. If in Fred said you could do that with no problem. Yeah. But Christian said you really can't, so you only have to have one contractor come in, do what they have to do, get out, and the other one follow.
So basically, say Christian Stead is the skinny chick and
that's true.
Frederick Stead healthy.
Yes,
right,
yes.
Right.
Okay, and so what you if you look at picture number 8, that is what we call the bedding. That's what the tailing looks like. It really has a lot of gravel, in it. It's the worst that we've had in quite a while.
I'm telling you, use a caliche.
Okay, and in terms of how you're gonna connect some of the pipes, you have what is known as Fernco rubber coupling.
What do they spend on them rubber coupling?
The rubber coupling, they go for about 50 years.
Yeah?
50.
Yeah. They're very durable. They're very durable. And we have them in 4-inch and 8-inch.
This is open to the public, or this is just like these renderings here?
They will to public. As a matter of fact, once I finish, Robert's could have this copy, and when I finish, I could give you the copy of mine. Okay. That's not a problem.
So the constituency can go on the VI Waste Management website and print this out this way.
Well, the thing, I don't know if they put it there, but this is something that is done on a daily basis, and it's distributed to quite a few government agencies.
We didn't have a web page where you guys were.
I'm gonna follow up with my communication. I'm gonna follow up with my communication department. Yes, we do, of course.
Right.
What an acronym stand for?
Because I know that's one thing that they're supposed to do. Yeah, they're the one who's with schedule. Okay, so we're gonna go to page 4, Robert. Page 4.
Watching it.
Okay, when you look at page 4, you're seeing the 8-inch PVC line that's being installed, and then on picture number 15, you're seeing the 6-inch concrete pipe that we removed, that's being removed, and that gave you the condition. And then on picture 16 and picture 17, these are what we call the service connection. We call them laterals.
Those are the ones that are going into the
building and the residential homes.
Okay.
Yeah. This one is a T and this one is a Y. Yeah. You have two configurations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
T and Y.
Okay. No. When you go to the next page, Robert. Okay. Yeah, I got a lot of them. Okay, page 18 now is showing you the actual lateral installation. It's showing you the lateral installation.
1 and 2.
1 and 2. But if you go to the previous page, and each laterals 1 and 2, they're showing the location of the lateral, and then it tells you the length from the main sewer line to where we make the tie into the lateral.
Okay.
And also it gives you the GPS coordinates. So what's going to happen in the future when we finish Christianstead, we could actually go and identify when the road is paved. We could go ahead and pinpoint exactly where the laterals are. In the past, we never really had that capability because we didn't map it. We had to dig up the whole thing, so we could identify that. Okay, if you look at there's on page number 5, there's observation. You go read the observation and then also talk to them about the picture.
Sewer pipe that was removed was 6-inch concrete. The condition of the pipes are shown in the following pictures, and the following pictures look like some dirty teeth. But yeah, the outside of the cracking.
But at the same time, you look at picture 21, you see that the main sewer line has a hole. And typically, what normally happens is with this type of hole, dirt gets into the line, and over a period of time,
it starts
to back up the line. And two things happen: either that the homes that are tying to this sewer line, they can't flush, they start backing up, or secondly, the water start working its way through the hole, and eventually it works its way up to the road. It creates what we call a cavity, and the next thing you develop a sinkhole.
A sinkhole, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go to number 16. And 16, this is where we talk about the project completion at 13.7%. This is as of last Friday, June 16. And we're still on King Street. We're actually working from manhole number 5 all the way until we get to manhole number 7. And this is actually from Market Street, and Queen Street goes all the way up to the cemetery also.
No, but we only got 13 people working on this job site.
Yeah, 13 people is a lot of people.
That's not a lot of people. 26 would have been a lot.
no. If 13 people on the site is a lot, because what you have is you have one crew that's doing the excavating, and when that crew is going to do the excavating, all of the soil, you got to take it up, put it in that dump truck, and dispose it. You have another crew coming behind of it that's laying the pipes, and then another crew come in and they actually start putting the bedding material, and then it has to be compacted. We use what is called a jumping jack, and then we just compact it in layer, and then finally they actually come with a small little roller and roll it. Yeah. Okay, so in this case here, we starting from manhole number 5, which is on Queen Street, and we're going all the way up to manhole number 3, and we also crossing the intersection of Market and Queen Street. Like Douglas said, I need to tell people the name. Times Square.
Yeah.
Times Square.
I was just going to say
Times Square.
Times Square.
That Times Square. Exactly. So what I'd like you to do is we're going to go to page number 2, and we're going to go to the work performed, and I'd like you to read that section.
Which one?
What is that work performed?
206
linear
feet. Yeah. 8 inches of PVC. 8-inch PVC pipe was installed from manhole number 4 to manhole number 3. 2,330 linear feet of 8-inch PVC pipe has been installed to date.
And that was as of last Friday, which was June 16.
The existing pipe was removed and large portions of cacao came up onto the street, and they had to put a 6-inch concrete pipe to try to retain some of the cacao.
No, Robert, don't mislead the public. Don't mislead the public.
And I was just having a little fun.
Yeah, you're having a little fun. But
it doesn't say anything about cacao. But, the existing sewer pipe that was removed was 6-inch, so they've increased the pipe's capacity from 6 to 8.
Exactly.
Okay.
And what you're looking at picture number one. Picture number one is showing you the 8-inch pipe that's being installed into in manhole number 3.
So that's for better flow.
It's for better flow, but at the same time, the PVC material, this pipe was designed for sewer gases, so that means that you're not gonna see any type of holes like what you see in the concrete pipe.
Okay.
And that's where you're actually gonna get your service like. So, Robert, what you're showing in picture number 1 is actually showing the actual installation, and then when you look at picture number 2 is showing you the finished product, meaning that you install the pipe, you do your bedding, and you do your compacting, and then picture number 3, you're actually getting a view of the entire from Times Square
all the way down.
All the way down. Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna turn to page number 3, and I want you to read the item up there.
This shows the laterals. 6 laterals were installed for a total of 76 linear feet as of June 16th. 414 linear feet of laterals have been installed thus far.
Okay, so from when we start the project on May 15th to June 16th, we installed a total of 44 laterals, which is equal to a total of 440 linear feet. And so what happened is what you see in here, you see the pictures them of the laterals.
The laterals, yeah.
And the laterals them are what we call the service connection.
So this has basically been what you've accomplished in 1 month.
In 1
give
month.
Or take.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah.
1 month.
Okay.
We have dig up a lot of road in 1 month, and we have inconvenience the public in 1 month. So Robert,
the next 2 years gonna be something else.
It's Robert. Robert, that mean I got 23 more months to go, right? So I am saying that if the patient is trying to grow thin now, so what's gonna happen 6 months, 8 months, 12 months down the road?
Dude, I waited for next week. You done got much stuff on the road.
This is expedited frustration.
And again, I mean, the reality is, yes, it's something that needs to be done, should have been done. But whether we did it in the past, whether we do it in the future, whether we do it now, the result is going to be the same. It's going to be an inconvenience, period.
It
mean, there is absolutely, positively no way around that.
Like my mother say, you just got to suck salt and drink your water. Just keep it simple.
Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate, but it's something that we have to do. On the last page, one of the things that we have to do, Robert, in this project is that we have to make sure that when the work is finished at the end of the day, that the site is restored as safe as possible. Because one of the things that normally happens is that not every day you can fill the trenches. So you're going to have some trenches that are open. So you have to make sure you have the appropriate barricade. And if you're going to close a road, you have to put the appropriate road signage.
But this shows, and not to cut you, but this shows access ability.
Yeah, you
to me, I would have wanted to be driving.
No, you could drive here. This is on Queen Street. What happened on Queen Street right now?
Are all of these barrels, any of them have lighting on them? The hazard lighting?
No, they don't. They don't.
Okay.
No,
so
they don't.
we're gonna be working on that.
Yeah, that's something I
because again, this is going to be in the night as well.
Yeah.
And one of the concerns I would have.
Well, the thing about it, these are the ones that are reflective, but you can't. The light provides adequate protection. I agree with that. Even though this is in town and town got street lights and everything like that there, but
you know how people that just put up and you know the light will keep me away from it because I'm obviously. I am now more aware of it.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, and I heard you and Dougie discussing it earlier. You've alluded to it. You know how silly we could be.
Yeah, and it
don't take much.
And guess what? What we are told. This is what the attorneys them told us, that if you go ahead and put your barrels in, and you put up your caution tape, and anyone cross the caution tape and decide that they want to take a peep to look at the trench and they fall in there, the contractor and the authority is not liable.
It's not liable, but here it is. I'm driving down the road. A cat jump out and it's just
The Good
it look like a
Samaritan
nice
story.
little cat and I swerve a little bit, but a little old, so swerving back, I get catch.
Now I got a question.
So, that
Wow.
would be my concern.
Yeah.
What about night?
Well, the sewer system have to be in service at while this work is being
So you're
done.
using bypasses.
We use the bypasses, and sometimes when they do that, they use a vacuum truck.
So we
Like
just
the
suck
truck.
straight into the truck.
You suck straight into the truck, and what the truck will do is
What's the truck's capacity?
Some of these trucks are like three anywhere from 3 to 6,000 gallons.
Could hang for a day.
No question. Is there work being done at night?
To be honest, we haven't done any work at night, but one of the areas them I anticipate that we're gonna have to do some work is when you get to the intersection of Queen Cross Street and King Street, which is where Government House starts,
Yeah.
and you're going all the way down to
The
where
casino.
the skate house is
Oh,
at.
okay, you're going
the
that
skate
way.
house.
Yeah, okay.
The reason why that area is because from the standpoint that the sewer, that road actually is a hill, it's inclined.
Right.
And what we do, we have the sewer line running uphill. So when you have a sewer line running uphill, that means you have to have a deep trench, because the hill is going this way, but you want the sewer line to go this way.
Right.
So in that area, the deeper your trench is, the wider your excavation have to be.
Yes.
So to a certain extent, in a case like that, because there's a lot of commercial activity there, plus the same thing, you have Government House there where people go to within government's office to do passport work and so forth. That is the area that we probably might have end up having to do work at night. That's the last street we're gonna do for the entire project. King Street is gonna be the absolute last street.
You
and that street is a nightmare.
you have plates that you can put down in your event.
Yeah, we could put down plates. Meaning, from the standpoint, that's what we did on Company Street. Company Street was done at night. When Company Street started, we start working at 6 at 9 at night, and we finished 6 in the morning, and the street had to open up again.
Right.
So I suspect that we probably gonna have to end up doing that there for
The same thing again.
the same thing. So it's best that that area there, you do that type of work at night, because you could put your plates and you have commercial activity. Again, the other area that which is a nightmare is the road going out we don't to the casino. That one there, that one there.
Yeah.
Because not only that, because when you in that spot, Robert, you take up a lot of valuable parking.
Yeah. the whole street.
Yeah.
It's
And the thing about it, not only that you have the casino there, but
Don't wish
you
to
have
be
hotels
you.
there. There's a lot of
there's a
commercial
traffic that is
traffic
in
there.
just that area,
Yeah.
just based on the what is the name of the restaurant on the dock there? Oh Jesus
You're
Christ!
talking about,
Rum Runners.
Rum Runners,
Okay,
yeah.
so from Rum Runners traffic and
Yeah.
all of the boardwalk
Yeah.
traffic.
Remember, not only you got Angry Nate's restaurant there.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So from Angry Nate's up to Rum Runners, and then now you go into the casino. Then as you come out of the casino,
got
now
the
you
car-
have
you got two hotels there. You got Comanche
Well,
Hotel,
well,
and then at the same time you got Caravel too.
and not you're
And then
you're
I-
missing one
Kings Alley?
King's Alley.
Yeah.
Okay, so that concentration in that small area,
Yeah.
that's all of Christians. That's 80% of Christians says traffic right there.
And commercial activity too.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what's bringing in
But,
the commercial activity is what's bringing you that traffic.
Yeah, but-
And you're talking about is Papa Papaya name?
Yeah, Papa Papaya there.
Okay, all of that is
Yeah.
parking.
Yeah.
Okay, giving me access now to government parking, I may be able to, but the casino and the hotel has its own parking prior to.
Exactly.
So how I gonna get to that?
See, that's the thing about it. Because once you actually get from Strand Street, the intersection of Strand Street and Queen Cross Street, they're not gonna be able to get into the parking.
But this is what I'm saying.
Because
So
that's the access point.
we're not only are we shutting down the street, but we're shutting down those people that we could get off the street that have their own little parking.
So what's gonna happen when that time comes? We, the authority and the contractor, we're gonna meet those businesses and say, hey, when's the best time for us to come in and do this work?
The casino is going to tell you no time. They're open to almost 24 hours. They're doing 2 shifts at least.
But the thing about it, Robert, the line doesn't change.
You're talking about affecting millions, tens of millions of dollars for 2 years. You really think that the casino is going to say, sure, we could shut down for...
No, Robert, the thing about it is that...
They were livid for COVID.
No, I anticipate that the best thing that we will do is actually tell them, look, we'll do a thorough assessment and say, hey, we could come in there and give us 3 or 4 days at the most. But the problem is that you have to understand in that area, WAPA has electrical underground. So you have to go through that concrete, and that day don't take time.
More than 3 or 4 days.
I know. because Strand Street is electrically underground. With Strand Street, that way you start from Prince and Strand, and you go all the way, go straight down to by where Comanche is at. All of that is underground, and that's solid concrete. And we have to go through that, and that day is time consuming.
I gotta wish you luck.
But it has to be done
somebody's got to, and we're not arguing that. As a matter of fact, we're trying our best to support you with it.
Sure.
But there is that reality that we have to look at, and this is why I keep reiterating it. This is not something that's going to be for the next 2 months, and I'm gonna finger you. No, this is something that's going to be there for the next 2 years. So that's 2 Christmases, two jump ups, okay. So you understand, it's multiples that is going to be affected. And now you're saying to the area of Christiansted that generates 100% of Christiansted revenue through 70% of the individuals coming to it, you're going to shut that down for an indefinite period of time, because even when we solve one piece of the problem, we still have affected another part of the problem. Until you're completely out of there and it's restored, and we don't know how long, like you said with the concrete, the businesses are the ones that are going to take the hit, and our governor, should give them some money. It's still got yeah. So let's do something to help them as well, because again, and businesses don't get into yourself. You use a business that you're only doing $200 a month. Don't go to them and say, well, I do 200,000 a month. We know what this I could get. But the reality is, this should have been something that we had all the players involved in, so that as soon as you finish, WAPA is ready to go into play. Since we can't do them at the same time. And I believe if the emergency management agency was involved in this, which they should have been, that would have alleviated a lot of the problem and also give you the opportunity
to go in and do the work.
Thank you. You understand? But we pretend like we don't know. But that is a component of it, and since we have the separation now, it's a joke.
Yeah. The last time that when I was here, when I was talking about the project, I had a picture that I went ahead and showed you of a condition of a sewer line that was located on Strand Street, right in front of Comanche Hotel. And in that area, you had 2 restaurants. Right around the corner, there were 2 restaurants. The sewage situation got bad, so bad that the sewage was just overflowing. One restaurant had to close.
The one on the Comanche?
The one across from Comanche.
The spot one?
Yeah. They literally had to close down. Because
the line is running out that way?
The line is actually...
It's supposed to be running back in.
No, the way how the line runs is that the road that actually comes onto Comanche turns a corner, and then you come straight out to Gate Street to Government House. The line comes down that way.
Okay.
And then it turns a corner, and then it goes all the way down on Strand Street, and then it actually makes a right-hand turn on where you have the government parking lot.
Right.
And then from there, it ties into the famous, whenever we have a problem with the LBJ pump station, there's 2 manholes right in that corner. We call it Hand Grenades Corner. Everybody know the Hand Grenades Corner. So the thing about it is that when you have sewer issues, it impacts businesses, because the thing about it is that you can't have a restaurant and in front of your restaurant you got sewage running, and that's what happened there. And if we don't fix it, these are things, and we have had our share of problem in that area, especially around the casino area. We have had our share of problem.
I wouldn't doubt it, because we did poor planning in the past, but still. All right.
So as of last Friday, Robert, like I mentioned, that we are 13.7%, and out of the 33,000 linear feet of pipe, we installed 2,230. So we listen, public, we got a long way to go.
Yeah, but we on our way.
We're on our way, but we got a long way to go.
And we're going to be harassing you for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
We want run again. You are more than welcome. I can't speak for Dougie, but I will. STX is here. Please come in.
So we can give you all updates.
Yeah. I mean, we know that it's a mess, but again.
Thanks for your support. Thanks for telling me.
It's better that the public knows, because that way when they want to jump up and they get down bad with it, but we know. We told you.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't try to sugarcoat it. It's going to be 2 years. It needs to be done.
Yeah.
You know, whether 10 years ago, 10 years from now, it still needs to be done. So let's get it done with now, and you know, we'll have the big jump up in year 3. You know, when we could drive through the road.
And the thing about it, Robert, is it's just the condition of the sewer lines. I mean, like for instance, if you look at page 5 on the May 15th daily report, that's to show you the condition of the lines.
Well, yeah.
I mean, and there's no way, because this, like Doug mentioned in his show, this is actually, you're affecting the environment and public health, because when you got sewage running over a place.
19 is cast iron?
No,
concrete?
No, that's concrete.
Okay.
Concrete. Yeah. Most of the lines in Christian said the majority of them is concrete or clay.
Is the bucket now? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that was the bucket when they used it to take out the pipe. Yeah. But it's unfortunate. I mean, it's something that has to be done.
It has to be done, and like I said, we know if people get mad, they're gonna get mad. But it's not like we're not telling them. We're not giving them the information,
Sure.
and that's really what is key. And as Dougie has expressed, I will express. You know, we're grateful for you coming out and doing it, taking the time to do it. So yes, we will keep an open door policy. You know, as best as we can, we will facilitate. You know, having you here, and again, we appreciate you taking the time to update us as to where we are,
and bring you live and direct, like Coach Foy is saying. He wants to be able to see it in black and white.
Black and white.
Black and white.
Go ahead.
Yeah, good. This Vera. The question is, was every avenues investigated as to limit the time frame of this project, which meaning a day and night activity on this project? Was every avenue investigated? I mean, you say it's taking 2 years, yes?
No,
it's going to
take 2 years, roughly.
It's going to take 2 years, according to how you all are doing it, or was it possible to make it less than 2 years, doing it another way, like doing it night and day?
Well, see, the thing about it is that there's always the issue of economics. When you're doing work at night, your costs kind of more than double to a certain extent.
Because of the hazard.
Yeah, because the thing about it, you have to have lighting plans, you have to have more traffic control, and so forth like that. And then the next thing too is that ain't not too much people that want to be in town want to have people walking on the road at night.
At night.
Yeah. So that's some consideration also. Yeah.
What about during the daytime now when we have traffic as well too?
Well, the thing about that, yeah, but see the thing with the day, what you try to do is you try to come in early. You try to start between 7 to 7:30, and then you try to get out more or less around 4 o'clock if possible. And you always try to leave the site in such a way that, if it's possible, in certain areas you could continue having traffic. But like for instance, up in the market, what we did is that we still had the market available, so we had people come in on Company Street. Remember, in the market now, to come into the market, you really got to come in by Salvador Barber Shop.
Yeah, you can't come up the other way.
You can't. But so what we did, we allowed them to come up the other way, because we realized that the post office is critical. The post office had to be in service also, because people come in to do business. So those are the things that we can do. So that's what we did.
That's something you have to coordinate with the police department as well too, because I see couple patrons coming up to that direction,
Mhm.
and the police stop them,
But
blow them.
which I don't
Yeah.
understand, because the thing about it is we discussed that with the police department, and the police department was saying is that the contractor had to have individual doing that. Once the police department was
like a flagger,
yeah, they have to be doing. Once the police department was notified, because the police is saying they don't have the resources to have a police officer there at all time. All they really want to know is that they needed to be aware of it so that they could contact the other emergencies agency, like for instance they got contact like the ambulance, fire, EMT, fire and so forth, like, so in case if they have to come and do an emergency there, that they'll know, hey, this is how they have to come in.
I think one of the, well, for me as a simpleton, the simplest solution is dividing the workload. For instance, doing like how my brother said, a night and day. Like instead of having like a full crew, you could divide the money and break it up evenly, so that way people could work during the night.
Night differential, they don't want people.
But the night work costs a lot of money, believe me.
But I don't know if the night differential would be in
it's a
private.
night differential ain't gonna work. You got to actually pay, because
Yeah.
the
So you mean
reason
like
why,
more like
the
a
reason,
time and a half
the
type
reason
of
why,
thing?
because this is not like a sorry.
Wait there. Yeah, gentlemen. You see now, when he leaned back in the chair, everybody start leaning in the chair. That's how it is, And we ain't got no donuts and coffee up here.
Everybody's
But
relaxed and
we're gonna take a commercial break for the top of the hour, folks. Please stay tuned in. When we come back, we're going to revise somebody's organic act and our kind of thing, because salt more than pepper. Anyway, we're gonna see how you on the flip side.
Find us on the World Wide Web at www.wstxradio.com. WSTX AM and FM stream all conscious reggae and Virgin Islands news, talk, calypso, and Quelbay 24/7, 365 on www.wstxradio.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. WSTX, the soul of the Caribbean.
Respect. Show respect for your father. Show respect for your mother. Show respect for your loved ones. Show respect for your children. Show respect for the law. Show respect for the community. Show respect for yourself. Show respect and stand tall as you reach up the wall of success. This message is brought to you by WSTX Radio 970 AM and 100.3 FM and Divisec.
Grab your lads and come. Jay's Landscaping. We do tree trimming, debris removal,